What's up, family? It's your boy, Alexx Brown, some commonly referred to as Deacon in Training Alex. I am here for another episode of the Beacon, our conversation series, digital conversation series revolving around young adults, specifically young adults who can shine a light and serve as a beacon on a specific topic or shine a light on a field of profession in which they are in. This month, we have a special guest, Mr. Rob.
See, already.
Coming through. And we're gonna talk about a journey to manhood and what that looks like. As men, we've had a lot of women on the series so far, so it's good to have another brother on the series talking about manhood and what it looks like to go from the early stages of adolescence all the way to where we are now as adults. My brother, he's a fellow Leo. That could be a good thing and bad thing to depend on who you're talking to. But,
true. That is facts.
Yeah, so we're going to have fun today. But I'm going to let him introduce himself, talk about himself a little bit and who he is. He's a friend of mine. I've known him since high school. He's also a member of LightHouse, and he is a man of many gifts. So I'll let Mr. Shephard, you talk about yourself a little bit.
So I'm Rob, and I basically summed it up. You basically said it right, like a jack of all trades. I feel like to a lot of people I'll be considered as a personal assistant type of thing, because I like to help upcoming entrepreneurs. Well, you don't have to be up and coming, but basically just get to their goals in life. And I feel like it took me a long time, but I figured out that I had a talent in support, encouragement. I knew a lot of people that I could connect people to, and I just took all the things that I've learned from dealing with people and the rights and the wrong, and I feel like I wanted to apply it to people that sometimes feel like it's not possible to get to a certain level, because I feel like when it comes to success, you see the success story, but you don't see the progress to that point. So being exposed to a lot of different things, I felt like I can offer people that I call my friends or people that I'm around or that I just come in contact with the gifts that I've learned with other people. So yeah, so I guess I want to say an entrepreneur in different areas. I'm not just like a personal assistant. I do marketing, I do promoting, I just help grow brand, and also, grow my own personal brand. So yeah.
That's awesome. You a businessman for yourself and for other people. Okay.
Yeah.
So I call people like you the man with the plan. That's what I call.
Look. And sometimes too many plans. Sometimes I got too many plans, but I'm learning to do more listening with the work that I'm doing with myself. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's all. That internal work is key. We're gonna talk about that a little bit too, because it's a struggle sometimes. Yeah. All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and dive in. Okay. My first question is, so where are you from? What's your background, kinda? And what brought you to LightHouse? What draws you to come back to LightHouse?
So I'm from Evanston, born and raised. For most people, Chicago, but north suburb and whatnot. My family, my foundation is my family in Evanston. We had a cab company before I was thought of. We had restaurants, we had stores, like corner stores type of thing or whatever. We had so many things under our belt. So I come from a background of entrepreneurs, like my family comes from that. But through my journey, I feel like I had to find a place where I was seen and heard more, because I feel like coming from a foundation where I have a big family, you get caught in the crowd sometimes. So what was dope about LightHouse is the things that I was struggling with, I connected instantly. Like LightHouse was a place where people was just super transparent. And where I come from, you speak when you're spoken to.
Yeah.
But in Lighthouse, you have an opinion and you have a voice, and it's to be heard and respected.
Yeah,
So I thought that was a dope place, because I feel like when it comes to church homes, sometimes um, there's a lot of times you just listen
yeah,
and try to get that message or whatever. But I felt like there were so many things that I had an opinion on that I was
yeah.
afraid to ask because it was an adult. But in
Right.
Lighthouse, you see people your age, younger, older, that not only have an opinion, but they, you share a lot of common, grounds with a lot of people. So I thought it was a dope platform, and it wasn't nothing that I've ever experienced. So stuff like that, you gotta attack. So yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Basa. And when I always say that Lighthouse, the young adults in Lighthouse are really comprised of um, three different types of people.
yeah,
So it's the ones who are real churchy, real active in church, doing stuff.
yeah,
It's the ones that are have been active and maybe have stepped away for a period of time
yeah,
for whatever the reason. And then there's the people who are non-church, who did not
yeah,
grow up in church. They don't have that solid spiritual foundation, but they seek
yeah,
it and they seek
yeah.
community among those people. So I found, I know that you aren't active in a church. You're not out here preaching or dancing or anything like that
I
in
have
churches.
been like not preaching and dancing, but I was active at some point. But I
Okay.
mean, I get what you're saying.
But you're in the latter two. You're in the latter
Yeah, yeah,
two.
right.
Um, but not exactly non-church, but not as active within a specific congregation right now.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
So we thank you, man. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your opinion. We thank you for giving Lighthouse a chance, because it's something that's
Yeah,
very unconventional and something that's non-traditional, and that
yeah,
could push some people away, and that can invite some people in. So
yeah. But I
I
mean, most
appreciate you.
importantly, I thank you for because you pressed the issue. You was like, but I think that was basically because of conversation that we had, like, because I don't open up much, but I feel like from
Yeah,
what you heard, you're like, Rob, you should come. And even though it is, I don't want to say it's your platform. It is your platform, but I felt like I think it was genuine, where it was more or less like you just felt like it was a good fit. So, I appreciate you even just, exposing me to it.
absolutely, man. But no, yeah, it's definitely not my platform. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
I'm just
Right.
the vessel being used. That's it, man.
Yeah.
But let's dive into these questions.
Okay.
So, if you had to describe your journey to manhood in one word, what would that be?
The first thing that came to mind was just a journey.
Okay,
Journey, literally.
okay, okay. Why journey?
I feel like, not to be long-winded, but I feel like, to be where I am today, I'm 31, and I feel like there's so many things that I've learned, um, but I feel like I've learned majority of it at the closer to the 31.
Okay,
But I was just like, I never understood why I was going through the things that I was going through. So good and bad, but like now things are unfolding and making sense to me. So I would say it was definitely a journey,
absolutely. And they're still going. They're still going.
man.
But I say no, I feel that complete. So I've been 30 years old for almost 2 months now, and I feel like in these 2 months, I've been on a journey of self-discovery and self-evaluation, and I've learned more in these 2 months about myself
Yeah,
and about my past
yeah,
than I feel like I've
man,
learned in the past 3 decades before.
bro.
So
30 will do that for you.
I see. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
No,
I wasn't at all. All right, man. So growing up, I'm a boy's first example generally of what a man should look like is our father, right? What were some of the earliest lessons that you were taught about how to be a man, and who taught you?
earliest. So for me, that statement is true for some people, but not for me.
Okay.
I grew up in a foundation where my aunt had 7 sisters, 1 brother.
Jesus Christ.
Technically 8, because I would include my my amazing godmother. She was definitely a part of the foundation. So I grew up around women, but it wasn't just they were powerful. Like my family name is McKinley, so in Evanston, people knew us and people respected us. So they were alpha. So I didn't really have too much of a foundation. I knew my uncle for sure, but my uncle was very quiet in my eyes. Like he didn't say too much. He was about business, straight to the point, and that's how they were in my eyes.
Yeah.
But they were straight to the point. So yeah, that's my intro to. So I didn't have an idea of what this looked like. I would say I had my cousins, but I think that they were just figuring it out too. So I really didn't have somebody to like grab as a young age.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. No, and I echo that, because there's a lot of I sympathize with that aspect of not having what the common norm is for your first example of what a man should be. Because I didn't grow up with my pops. So I didn't grow up with him in a household. My mom was holding it down by herself. And my examples of what men should be actually started off in the church. It started off at Second Baptist, and seeing men that led different ministries, that led the deacon board, the pastor, of just what manhood should look like. At least from that perspective, because there's many different layers to what manhood is, but the first initial visual perception I had was men that I saw doing stuff in the church. So, so absolutely, it's absolutely. Let's see here. Who was an important male mentor for you growing up, and tell us how this man helped you along your journey?
Honestly, it happened, I was like around, I want to say 17, 18. So it started real late for me. I would say my spiritual father, actually from Oasis Christian Ministry. My best friend at the time exposed me to church. I wasn't familiar really with going to church. She told me to come, and it just felt like the thing to do because me and her was so connected. That's what we did. And we had a summit, and my spiritual dad, I don't know how we connected, but like what the conversation was, but I feel like God pulled him to me.
Okay.
And for me, because I wasn't exposed to that, I kind of, to be completely honest, I feel like I knew that that's what I needed, but I kind of pulled back.
Yeah.
But just for somebody to actually just, I don't want to say tell me right from wrong, but just have a perspective where they want to teach you,
like
and not just about like God, but he wanted to just have my back. Yeah. So I feel like that was the first time I actually kind of connected the dots, like, okay, this is something different. And, I don't know, but, I appreciate it. I identified quick that it was something like dope. So yeah, that was my first, but it was like late.
No, absolutely. Our first example of that isn't always in like childhood or adolescence. Like it can come in adulthood. And the fact that he made a genuine connection with you, it wasn't on no Bible toting, quoting scriptures, trying to fire and brimstone, trying to tell you you've been sinning, you going to hell if you don't come this way. It was a genuine connection among men, where he just wanted to help you be great and help you and support you in whatever you were doing, whatever that looked like. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But I think that's the message that most mentors and people who want to support people should go. It should go from a place of genuine love, genuine connection, and where the person receiving it knows it's genuine, and they're not trying to have some type of agenda, but they just want to genuinely support them.
Yeah, and I appreciate the fact that he also connected me to his son. His son was my age, so it made it even more easier to recognize how genuine he was, because me and his son connected. Like, that's like, to this day, like, he's like one of the closest people to my heart. So the fact that everything just started to line up pretty different than what I was exposed to. So I think that was dope too.
That's awesome. It sounds like it opened the door and or sowed a seed that has been growing since then.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go into, so tell me about one of the moments when you on your own discovered or figured out one of the pieces of how to be a man. So a lot of times go through different things of our life where we're like, oh, this is how you do something. And it wasn't taught to us, but it's something we figured out on our own, whether it was from something we've seen that we didn't like, or something that we've experienced that we knew was wrong, but we didn't know how to do it correctly, and we had to go about trying to figure it out ourselves. So what was your first experience with something like that?
Counseling. Counseling taught me, I think, a lot of what I was doing that I thought was manhood, really wasn't. It was trauma. So counseling really changed the narrative for me. It really made me realize that what I was taught wasn't, like, I thought that a man is supposed to be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're supposed to stand your ground, you know. But that ain't, you know. I learned that that's deep rooted, you know. So counseling was everything for me. So that definitely was a complete switch when I really identified that there was something wrong with my movement, and I wanted to just, I think, get validation. Like, am I crazy? Like, but I think it turned into like being aware of certain things and knowing why you do what you do and stuff like that. So counseling was definitely that for me.
No, and I'm so happy you said that. Because in the Black community, therapy is looked down on so hard, because they like, no, just pray over it, you'll be okay. Just talk to somebody, you'll be fine. Talk to family, talk to Jesus, go to church, lay on the altar, all that type of stuff, and you'll be fine. And as kind-hearted and as genuine and good intentions as they may hold, that ain't gonna help you all the time. I'm gonna keep it 100. That's not gonna help you all the time. Sometimes you need to go deeper, and to uproot some stuff. That's something that in these 2 months I was talking about, that's something I've discovered in these 2 months, that that lots of the ways that I move as a man have been influenced or cultivated by trauma. And that trauma is stems from different things like toxic masculinity and a lack of vulnerability and understanding what those concepts mean as a man, and then how they influence your mindset, your health, the way you move, and the way you engage with other people. So I'm thankful that you said that, because that's so that's key to growth, is understanding that you need help beyond what different people say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really just, I think personally, a lot of us know that we need that extra help. I think that there are resources for some,
Yeah,
but I don't think that, I feel like it's not an option for a lot of people, especially men, because that's what I'm saying. Like, what we're taught is that we're supposed to be this way. So when I had to break that mindset of, I'm not going by the books because the book ain't working for me. So
absolutely.
there's something personal that's going on. In the book, there ain't no chapter for this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like,
Absolutely.
I was
Absolutely.
like, I need to do some other type of work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to be open to being
Ab-
wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Being open to unlearn, to knowing what you don't know,
Man,
and then sometimes unlearning what you thought you knew. So
reprogram
absolutely,
for
man.
real.
Um, that's completely, and it takes a while because the stuff we've been programmed is embedded in our head for the past 3 decades. So it's 3 decades of reprogramming or unlearning or or uprooting that we have to get through, and
Yeah.
it's Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Look, we can go on all day about that. I feel you.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. All right, man. So let's talk about women. Let's talk about
Okay.
the ladies. Um, how did you learn indirectly or directly
Mhm.
about relationships with women in your life? So like taught you how to treat women, whether it be romantically, platonically, just women period. Like how did you learn how to interact with the opposite sex?
By doing everything wrong. By literally doing everything wrong. I feel like, honestly, no, seriously, like I feel like my biggest example was, how I would treat the women that was around me, like, just even female friends, and actually being like I said, like that trauma, thinking that what I'm supposed to be was that, and
Yeah.
then actually doing work and being like, nah, dog, that
Right.
strong man and
That ain't
aggressiveness
it.
that you think you're doing, like that, they only like that,
That ain't it.
they don't, nah. And do you want that back? Do
Yeah.
you want to be challenged with that same energy? But just
Yeah.
learning from all the wrong things, and actually being like, why am I getting these same results? One of the closest relationships in my life, it took us so long to get to a point where we are today, where like we were together but we hated each other, right? And we were glued together,
Mm,
but it got to a point now with the work that we had to do, like separately, like we have
mhm.
a total respect for each other. But I appreciate going through that because it taught us both. It taught her what she don't want. It taught me what I don't want. But I feel like also, um, just you got to sometimes go through it. I don't believe that in order for you to learn something, it always have to be going through something wrong. But I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes you just, the way you program is the way you move. So I was doing a lot of stuff wrong or whatever. So now my approach is completely different. Completely different. I'm more
Yeah.
sensitive to, the feelings and the mind and being intentional about what I say, and also explaining. Sometimes you have to explain yourself. So, I'm open to doing something totally different. So yeah, I think
Absolutely.
that was
Absolutely.
long-winded, but you get the point.
Hey, we got to it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. We got to it. No, and that's something I learned too. That I was doing everything wrong, and that everything I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Growing up with women, growing up being trained by women about how to treat other women.
Yeah.
Um, I thought that uh, I had a down pat. Like I thought I was good. Like I was
Nope.
raised by like
Nope.
3 black women. So I was like, okay, I'm about to grow up, I'm about to date these lovely young queens. And mom, she didn't train me. I'm good. She didn't train me up and coming. You do
Yeah.
this, you do that. and I'm good. But then I grow up and I'm like, I don't know nothing. I don't know
Man.
nothing.
Yep. Yep.
Nothing at
Yep.
all.
Yep. For real.
So and it takes someone that actually cares about you and probably loves you to tell you in your face that
Yeah.
you're messing up.
Yeah.
and that what you think you know, what you think you understand, you haven't even
It
scratched
ain't
the
that.
surface.
It
And
ain't that.
and that can take you on a journey. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Really.
I will leave it at that. I will leave it
Look.
at that. Okay. Let me see here. So one of the things I value about Mr. Shephard is your work ethic. You go hard in the paint about your business, about your relationships, about your intentions, and all the above. What is where'd you get that from, and who first ignited that fire inside of you?
Work ethic. I got that from my mom. My mother is literally, to this day, one of the hardest working women I've ever met. I mean, well, yes, my mother is, but my aunts and my uncle, my foundation, like I said, we had businesses. So, and they ran it. They didn't really have employees too much. Like, we owned it, we ran it, you know what I'm saying? We were in the building. So seeing that a lot of stuff growing up, and this is not to be cocky or brag, but we owned a lot of us. So I think I always wanted that, you know what I'm saying? You know, coming from that type of powerful family, it's like you also want your own. So I had to figure out what that looked like to me. And that's when I started to just get on a grind and a hustle and really figure out what worked and what didn't work. So, you know, years ago, just starting different ideas and actually putting a price to it. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I'll do that for free. I'll do that for free. I started early. My mom taught me saving. She taught me, like, that's one of the things that I really appreciate about my mother. She taught me how to save. I mean, I had everything growing up. So it's like I didn't need to really spend money. I just had to save it.
Right.
So teaching me that at a young age, I was able to really then flip when it was time to be an adult. So that work ethic came from my family, like my family to the T, for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's good to have that example. So my last question, before I do these light it up questions, is as an adult, where are you at right now mentally on your journey to manhood?
I am still figuring it out.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm always be figuring out, but I'm more happy now than I've ever been. I'm more comfortable with how I'm moving, and I think that, I don't know, I just think I got so much more to do, and I feel like I appreciate the space that I'm in to continue to grow and appreciate and take time for the growth and just sit in the moment. You know, it's so much that I want to do, but I feel like I'm in a really good space. I mean, some days I do be like, gee, am I depressed? But no, that's part of the process to get stuff out.
I get them.
Oh yeah, the other day I'm like, gee, it's too much. Right, it's too much. But the next day, I literally came out of it with a bunch of ideas. I think that's just how I'm fueled. I'm fueled from being in my thoughts in my head. So today, I speak on now. So right now, mentally, my answer would be I'm in a good place for growth.
Awesome. All right, man. About that. So at the end of each conversation, I do this this part of the episode where I talk about lighted up questions. So these are some questions that first thing that comes to your mind. Don't think about it too hard. Just go. Go fast. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Here we go.
so the first question is, who has been your greatest inspiration?
My spiritual father. No, my godmother. My godmother. Sorry.
We both.
Both.
Um,
Them two.
okay. All right. So, if you were to write a book about yourself, what would you name it?
Pull through.
Pull through?
I don't know. I see it over here. I'm looking at it, it's like pull through. I'm like, gotcha. Okay, cool. You know, I don't know.
That's
or come
funny.
through.
In a perfect world, what would you want your sources of income to be? Your dream sources of income, what would those be?
Everything that I'm doing now.
What is that for people who don't know you?
I'm sorry. Just being an entrepreneur, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in marketing, promoting, encouraging, supporting. I just want everything that makes me feel good. Everything that I'm afraid of is where I will want money from.
Awesome. So anything that you could feel passionate about, fulfilling your purpose, is what you would be doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll never get rich.
Last one, maybe the most.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
You say you're never gonna get rich. Go ahead.
I said you'll never be rich doing something outside of what you love to do. So yeah, we're gonna keep it there.
That's a quote. That's it. That's good. So the last one is, how does Rob Shephard define success?
I can't. I define it by going through it. Whatever that means, whatever. Yep. Just going through it. Whatever it is, just going through it. Just get through it. I think that's the hardest part for us, to get through. The motto that I work with, one thing that she used to say, and it's always been in my head, she said, Rob, do everything that you're afraid to do. And I'm like, you know what, Lauren, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's true though, because that's what's stopping us. So do everything that you're afraid of doing.
But I say that something that I've learned through this journey of vulnerability is, it's a researcher, she said, lean into the discomfort. Mm-hmm. And that vulnerability is one of maybe the most courageous thing that you could do is be vulnerable, because that takes you taking into consideration that you're putting yourself in a situation that you can't control the outcome.
Okay.
So you being vulnerable, you being courageous, you being brave, and stepping into a situation where you have no idea what the outcome will be, leading to that discomfort makes you stronger than you could ever think you could be. So
I believe it.
Absolutely. All right, bro. But that's all I have for you, man. I appreciate you coming through and talking with me. We're gonna have to do another. One. We're gonna have to do another
part
one. This was too short, and we're gonna need a part 2 because it's so much to unpack that we couldn't talk about. And
and I talk too much anyway.
Yeah.
Can I do something real quick before we get cut off?
Go ahead. Go
we got like 10 seconds. Okay, so I promote. So look, seriously, like I promote, so I gotta support my homie stuff. So this is one of my closest friends. Her name is Sydney. I think her social media is She's So Fierce. But she has it's called Mo Better Hair Body Butter. So it's like a shea butter, but it's super dope. I use this every day, so I gotta promote her. Also, my homie, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but this is one of my favorite gifts that he gave me. He has a clothing brand called No Brand No Title. So he gifted me with some stuff. I probably shouldn't be telling nobody. You probably shouldn't even be seeing this, but whatever. But that's dope. That's coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Just people that I'm working with, I just wanted to shout them out. So also, for custom stuff that I go to, TMF Crafts. If you need some craft, anything custom, They are dope. Also, BAK Customs and Creations. I go to them. Dope people. Like, get some stuff done. Like, if you want just custom stuff to gift or whatever, perfect. My boy L, his name is Elric. He's from Evanston. L, he got music on iTunes. His name is L. Also, his homie Picasso. My model that I work with, her name is Ashley Lowe. She's huge. She's huge. She's been on TV shows. She's doing a lot or whatever. One of my favorite people is my aunt. She has a pastry company.
Yeah.
She's about to launch something super big. So if you need like something catered or whatever, that's where I go to get all my food and stuff from her or whatever. Also,
Jesus.
these bracelets. You know, we got custom stuff. We got gems. It's called gems or whatever. So basically, it's an affirmation that you get that is attached to these gems, and they're actually just the beads that are prayed over, and it's for healing and stuff like that. Because, you know, I was into like the mental health type of thing, so I needed something that would be dope for that. And my sister, I'm sorry, I know you're like, dude, we run out of time, but my sister is called M2 Body and You. Follow that on Facebook. You'll be surprised what you see. It's coming. Like, all these people that I work with, they are super creative. Like, I just feel like that's what I am. That's who I am. I'm an entrepreneur, but I also help people get to their best potential. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's awesome. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna send me these links to this stuff. I'm gonna put it in the description of this video. So we can go that way.
All the custom stuff.
That's it. Bam, bam, today.
Do people know?
Send it all. We gonna do that.
What about you? Like, do people know about? Oh, we not okay. I'm gonna interview you. That's what we gonna do.
That's fine.
I'm
One day.
Interview you. That's what we gonna do.
That's it.
I'm sorry. Okay,
all right,
I'm
dog.
done.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Too much. So thank you, Mr. Shepherd. We gonna talk later.
All right,